Hi everyone, this is Silas from AsianCultureVulture.com. Welcome to the channel. I'm with the brilliant Antonio Aakeel, who's in Footprints on Water. We're here at the UK Asian Film Festival, and it's about to have its European premiere screening. Antonio, welcome to AsianCultureVulture.com. How are you feeling?
Really good. Thanks for having me.
Welcome. So tell us a little bit about the character of Rehan.
So Rehan is a refugee who's actually got his leave to remain. He's from Afghanistan and he's dealing with a lot of trauma.
How easy or difficult was it to get into that type of character?
Interestingly, I was able to speak to a few refugees here and kind of understand their experience, the sort of plight that they've had to deal with. Because Rehan is a very sort of a difficult inner world, I think that was something that I had to sort of work on with the writer Nita and our director Natalia. And so we just kind of developed him layer by layer and sort of tried to pinpoint key moments in his life before the film began, so that we could sort of understand what his emotional journey is as the film starts, and then the journey that we go on screen that you see. Yeah. So there was a lot actually to play with. It was a real gift of a character, but it was based on people's real life experiences.
Yeah, I thought it was very good in the way that you were able to encapsulate that trauma without necessarily showing it very explicitly. Yeah. So was there kind of, did you develop a kind of backstory for him?
He was actually based on an actual person, a refugee whose experience is quite harrowing when you think about it, who he'd lost, as you see in the film, like he'd lost his family, and he's holding on to that as anyone would, and then you see that sort of come apart when you see him talking to Raghu in the film, and there was, like I said earlier, there was just so much to play with. We wanted to make sure that it was about finding a way to empathize with people's experiences rather than like hammering them over the head with the reality, because a lot of people in this country are quite divisive when it comes to immigrant issues, and so we wanted to make sure we could find a way to have people empathize with him without making it feel like it was preaching education in immigrant issues. How
as an actor do you get into that deep trauma? Where do you go for it?
I actually don't know.
Oh, right.
It just happens. I think.
Well, that's the thing. It's like a switch, and that's what I don't get.
Yeah, I really wanted to tell his story. I felt really protective over him, and the people that I met, when I heard their stories of what their experience has been like coming from these other countries and coming here and trying to make a life for themselves and experiencing, racism and xenophobia, I felt like a sense of responsibility to share their stories. So it wasn't really about me, it was about making sure that their voice is heard, and I just became a conduit for that.
So tell us a little bit how you came to be involved in the film, because Natalia Siam is a first-time director. Yeah. Again, what's the process with somebody whose work you haven't really come across in a feature sense?
Yeah, Natalia wanted to meet me and pitch me the idea. I loved it from the start. I loved her vision. She had a very clear voice, considering she's a first-time feature film director. Like, her voice was so strong in the way that she kind of presented the film to me and the idea of the film. And then she told me Adil was coming on board as well, and I was really excited to work with him. And yeah, it just felt like a really organic process where we all just got on really well, and I kind of have a sixth sense about people that I want to work with. So when the opportunity came in, I was like, yeah, of course I want to be in your film, Natalia. Like, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And with Adil Hussain, there's a lovely relationship that develops between the slightly older, almost father-type figure.
Yeah. Sorry, spoiler alert for anybody watching. Yeah, it definitely felt like that. And Adil's character becomes somewhat of a foster father or a guardian to Rehan as the film progresses. And I think it's a really special and unique relationship, seeing them develop and the chemistry between Adil and I. So, and you see that develop as well. So yeah, it was.
I see it going the other way as well. You have a lot of care for the Adil Hussain character as well, and it develops over the course of the film.
Yeah, it does, and you see in a way that he sort of adopts me by the end of the film, and then there's the backstory that Adil has, where he's sort of dealing with race. He has racist sort of undertones in his dialogue and in his character, and seeing him overcome that as well is quite special.
Yeah. And do you think, as brown people, as Asians, well, that's just a term I'm using, that we can kind of identify with the people who are coming over like this in undocumented migrants and people who are seeking some sort of sanctuary?
I would hope so, and I don't think that it's segregated to just being a minority yourself. I think that we're all human, we're all vulnerable, and we all have a certain amount of empathy. And hopefully, if we can all develop that further, then the world would be a better place.
So, what would you say to somebody who doesn't know anything about the film, doesn't know anything about Nathali Assam, or even yourself, or what would you say to them about watching this film?
I'd say watch it because we're all great. No, I'd say this is a refugee drama about a father trying to find his daughter, and I think those themes are incredibly universal, and I hope people enjoy it.
Thank you so much, Antonio. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Take care.